Hey everybody, welcome to the Meddkit channel. We are really excited for today. We have a special guest with us, but before I start with Amy, we had started doing this series a little earlier this summer, and we are really helping healthcare providers get their really unique stories out there. So it's been really fun storytelling. So let me tell you about Miss Amy. So Amy Harrington, we have her today. Her company is Virtual Health Coach. While based in Pennsylvania, she can see it from anywhere. So she is very unique in that way. She has a Bachelor of Science in Nursing. She worked as an ICU nurse. She worked over and lived overseas for 5 years, and she became a certified personal trainer. She's also a certified education specialist. She's also nurse school certified, and she is a certified health coach. And she also did a master's study program in advanced physiology, and pharmacology. You can see that Amy has done a lot, and we're not done yet. She is also trained in application of mental rehearsal. She is also trained in transformation coach methodology. And she's pretty much certified in everything that you can be in healthcare at this point. So I'm now going to turn it over to Amy, and will you tell us about how you got into your virtual health coaching?
Oh, sure. Thanks, Rachel. And thank you, everybody, for listening. How did I get into virtual health coaching? Well, I started as a personal trainer, working and training people in fitness. And what I identified was that I could help people change their bodies. And the more I pushed them, the more they would change. But eventually, everybody would reach a plateau. And I knew that I was not reaching as much success as I could. I realized that the component of nutrition was huge. So I started, adding nutritional coaching or dietary coaching in with my personal training and became a health coach. But what I identified very early on was how it's not, I don't want to say people are uneducated, they're just unaware. The information that has been placed out there is outdated and quite frankly wrong in many regards, and so many people are misguided. So I realized that not only do people need nutritional counseling, but they need nutritional education. So that's where the educational specialist came in. I really truly believe that people need the information. And when I combined the nutritional and the dietary component with the physical fitness component, you have a win-win, and the success rate is remarkable. So that's how the health coaching became established in collaboration with the fitness training.
I just personally love that about you. I think not only did you take health coaching to the next step, but like you incorporated so many pieces of the mind and the body, and all the hard mental parts of trying to get over this next hump for people. So I just love that you combined so many features of health care and
Thank you.
so I think that's really incredible.
Thank
So
you.
how did people really react to having, very personal meetings virtually instead of in person?
Yeah, so when I started my health coaching practice, I used to tend to see people first in person. I felt like there was a necessity to have a human interaction, to really bond with somebody, because what I do as a health coach, and when you're dealing with food, you're also dealing a lot with the behavioral component. Most people don't overeat or eat late into the night because they choose to. It somehow it overcomes them. It becomes part of what they do. It's habitual. So a lot of what I do became, I had to deal with the behavioral component of the of the reality. So what I'm finding, which is remarkable, is that what I thought was necessary to create that bond and to allow somebody to share their truths, I thought it had to be in person. What I'm finding is people are much more willing to share their truths and their vulnerabilities, because I think, and this is just my perception, is that the screen offers a protection, that when they're in their own environment, there's an element of comfort. And with that, I find that the experience is so much different in a better way than I had predicted. So my virtual coaching, I would continue doing that long after this COVID nightmare ends, I would continue this aspect of it, because that's one of the components of this that has been really promising in regard to my profession.
Yeah, I think it's so awesome that you already started this revolution before it was actually a necessity for other providers to give. Before COVID, before everything, you were already doing virtual, which I think is so neat. So kudos to you for setting
Thank you.
the curve.
Thank you.
And I'm sure it's also, less of a barrier to entry. People can just come as they are. They don't feel like they need to drive or they need to do this, and they can
Yeah.
just come on and see.
Yeah. The flexibility of it is remarkable. And the other aspect of, as far as the personal training aspect of the virtual side of my coaching, it's remarkable because I can work somebody out in 15 minutes. Like some people actually can only work out 15 minutes. They're only willing to commit to 10 minutes. You would never consider driving to see a trainer to work out for 10 minutes.
Right.
So people used to think that it had to be an hour, because they would get to the gym and they'd work out for an hour, they'd do the class and they would leave. But what I'm finding is that people, even very metabolically challenged people, are willing to commit to 10 minutes 3 times a week. And all they have to do is show up to a screen, in 10 minutes, they're done. It's hard to say no to that. So that's been another incredible positive attribute of this circumstance.
That's awesome. You hear that, everybody? 10 minutes with Amy.
Yeah.
That's easy, right? We can do that.
And yes, anybody can do it.
I love that. So what do people typically see you for, and why?
So, I started out as a weight loss coach, and, with the personal training as well, the combination, and most people come to me either for a reason of a vision of a better idea of what they want for themselves, or out of fear, a diagnosis by their medical doctor. I work in collaboration with medical doctors that I'm affiliated with. And, I'll talk with any doctor if a client of mine is willing to, sign the HIPAA waiver. And so I work in collaboration. So I do a lot of work with newly diagnosed diabetic clients. And I've actually seen it reversed more than once. It is possible, and there are so many, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, all of these things that people consider, somewhat of a fearful experience can be reversed. And it just requires, some education and some, willingness to try new things and try things on. And as a health coach, I help people overcome those barriers, and I hold them accountable, and I am their cheerleader, and I am their biggest kick in the butt when they need it, but I'm there. And sometimes that's all it takes for somebody to get through an experience that they think is out of their control, and then to learn that they are in control. It's a fantastic, beautiful, thing to watch others think that they don't have any power over their circumstance, when the truth is they do.
That is amazing. So what would you say is your favorite population to help?
I love helping anyone and everyone that wants help. Anybody that wants help, I can help. But I love the young 15, 16-year-olds all the way up to like 35. Is such a perfect niche area. They respond very quickly to change in their diet and lifestyle. They are not really set in their ways yet. Their habits aren't so ingrained that it doesn't take so long to, support a new, healthier, upgraded habit. And I really love that they pay it forward. So their friends are like, oh my God, what's going on? You look so great. Oh, I'm working with this lady and she so, helps me with this and that. And next thing you know, they pay it forward. It's not about getting more business on my end. It's that they share with their friends. Well, you have to eat a salad. You can't eat French fries. Get a salad on the side with your burger. And then the friend teaches the friend. And then these kids grow up and they have children and they move. And, it's like a domino effect. They teach what I taught because they know it works, because it feels good. So that's I get all energized just knowing that it has a domino effect. So that's my favorite population, is the younger, the better, the more change and the more misery I can save them in the long run. the sooner I get hold of them.
No, I totally understand that. You know, if you can go without life with, you know, all the pain and the struggles, and only if you knew better, if you got educated on this by someone who was highly trained and highly certified.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
yeah, I think that would help a lot of people. So, what is the most satisfying? I know you kind of already talked about it, but what's the most satisfying part of what you do? But what's also the most difficult for you as well?
But the most satisfying is it happens with every client, 15-year-old to 75-year-old.
Hmm.
They say to me, I can't believe how good I feel. And I find it so amazing because what I always respond by saying, and imagine you felt so poorly all those years. You didn't even know what healthy felt like. You thought that's what normal was. And that's the most satisfying part, when I can get somebody over that hurdle. That's the most satisfying. And I would say the most challenging is, you know, you have circumstances where, you know, somebody might have been a yo-yo dieter for 40 years and they come to me and they, you know, they need change. They want change. You know, maybe they're, you know, newly diagnosed diabetic. And the hardest part is when they throw in the towel. And I get it, because the more challenged a person is, the longer they've been in this cycle of not feeling well, the harder it is to change and the longer it takes. So it really requires, really a lot of effort. And seeing somebody throw in the towel, it's just devastating. And it happens, and I get it. You know, we can only handle so much. But if you've been, neglectful to your body for 30 years, you can't expect a pill to solve your problems in 6 weeks, or a special diet or a cleanse. It's just, it doesn't work like that. You have to give your body time to get healthy. And, and that's the hard part is, not everybody feels like they're capable of doing it and they throw in the towel. They just don't know if they're worth it. And that breaks my heart, because every human being is worth it.
Yeah, but I love that you are people's constant, such a contradiction to that as well. So good for you for sticking in and being people's partners no matter what. So that's amazing. Changing gears a little bit, how would you change the current US health system if you could? What would you do if, snap of a finger, Jeannie gave you a wish?
Yeah.
What would it be?
Yeah. So I go back to when I worked in the intensive care unit as a nurse. We had only 3 patients maximum at a time. And each shift, the nurse would sit down with the case manager, the doctor, doctor on call, the specialists that are available. And we would all sit down and collaborate as a together about that patient and about the goals and about the outcomes and what's working and what's not. But you were all together. In today's circumstance, what I find, I'm sure the ICU is still the same, but in general medicine, if you go to see your general practitioner and you have something wrong with, achy joints, so that your doctor refers you to a rheumatologist, and the rheumatologist, gives a diagnosis, gives you a medication, but at the same time, you have some respiratory issues, so you're seeing a pulmonologist. The thing about the human body is each system is not independent of one another. So our doctors shouldn't be independent of one another either. We need to come together in collaboration. So if I could wave a magic wand, I would be in your general practitioner's office working as your advocate to make sure when you get the referrals that I can, dissect the information, share it with the other doctors, and collaboratively we can look at you as a whole. And our objective wouldn't be to be on 16 different medications, hoping that they don't contradict each other, or worse off, danger. But rather, how do we collaboratively as a unit identify how do we help this person? What are the core problems this person is having, and how do we fix those? That's what I would do, but I don't know. It's going to take some time to right this ship, but Rachel, what you and your team are doing is a good start. Is getting the word out there.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you.
That. No, seriously, you are so amazing. And before we leave off today, one last question for you, besides how people can get in touch with you, is what do you think the future of your practice looks like? Where do you think you want to take things, or anything?
Yeah, I mean, the future of my practice, I've kind of grown organically. I don't take on many clients at a time because I want to be 100% available to the ones I have. If you're my client, I am 100% with you every step of the way. I am available to you. I'm your own private coach. I am there. So if I could expand and be available to more people, it would require bringing more of me in. I don't know if I'm capable of doing that just yet, or is that necessarily something I want? My goal is to teach you and as a client, and then that client teaches everybody they know. So I kind of, it's just the domino effect. That's my goal. So organically, I'm not sure how I'm going to grow, but right now I love what I'm doing. I love helping the people that I help, and I know they help others. So yeah.
That is amazing. Amy, thanks for coming on today. You are a true delight. You are really, truly helping people, and people count on you. So
Thank you.
it's a big deal for what you're doing and the people that you help. So in case anyone's listening here and wants to get in touch with you, whether it's that 10-minute workout session or figuring out how they can eat better or change their behavior, how can they get in touch with you?
I'm on, you could do a Google search, virtualhealth.coach, Westchester, and I will come up. And yes, and I offer a free consultation to anybody, and I'm willing to share and all my information as much as I can get in that consult without any pressure. My goal is to share information. If it's your desire to move forward with me, we can, but I promise you a consultation with me is worth it. It costs you nothing except an investment in your time. So,
awesome. Well,
yeah.
Thank you, Amy. We hope to have you back again soon, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Rachel. I appreciate it very much.